Good morning, Ma'am Presi. Good morning, everyone. Before anything else, allow me to introduce my group mates. But before that, our topic for today is about brain and language. So, parts of the brain. I am Josabel Edoria Rosa, and I'm assigned to report about the function of brainstem, frontal lobe, and parietal lobe. Then to be followed by the third part up to the last by Christian Emanu. Next is the aphasia to the types of learned aphasia by Florence Yurong. Then to be followed by Rosmelet Victorillo up to the last slide. So let's start. The brain stem. It is located at the base part of the brain that is made up of midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Each of the three components has its own unique structures and function. Together, they help to regulate breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure, and several other important functions. The brain has four areas called lobes: the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. The frontal lobes are the largest lobes in the human brain, also the most common region of injury in traumatic injury. The frontal lobes are important for voluntary movement, expresses language, and for managing higher level executive function. So, the parietal lobes are divided into two major divisions, the anterior and posterior. Um, the anterior and posterior are the ones responsible in helping integrate the senses, hot and cold, soft and hard, and pain, the taste and smell. So the left parietal lobe has been proposed as a major language area. However, parietal cortical function is more useful considered in terms of control of action of contributing both to attention and cross-modal integration.
The next one will be the temporal lobe. So the temporal lobe has an important part in ourselves. This is responsible for creating and preserving both conscious and long-term memory, as well as processing sounds and visual in regards with language. So the temporal lobe process auditory stimuli, and it also have the two subdivisions: the Wernicke's area, or which associated with speech comprehension, and the Broca's area, uh, responsible for speech production. So the temporal lobe function is to interpret information just as what we hear or what we see. So the hearing and seeing aspect of the temporal lobe help us to establish understanding, and of course giving meaning to language. So that's how the temporal lobe works. Then the next one will be the occipital lobe. So the occipital lobe located at the lower central back of the brain. So it processes visual stimuli, or it transform images into an information or projected as a thought, which also help us to interact and to communicate. So this lobe help us to process and interpret anything that we see. It also help us to analyze content like shape, colors, as well as movements in regards to the images that we are seeing. So this function of the occipital lobe is to develop information. At the same time, it also transmit visual perception, so as to recognize and receive the incoming information that will be processed immediately and become a memory, and of course projected as thoughts and expression that leads us to interact and to communicate. So now, since we are done with the four lobes of human brain, let us now proceed to the two hemispheres of the brain. So the human brain is divided into two hemispheres, the left and the right hemisphere. So the first one will be the left hemisphere. So the left hemisphere, known as the logical brain, and has an involvement to language and analysis. So the left hemisphere function is processes things more in parts and consequentially, recognize positive emotion, identify with practicality and rationality, understand symbols and representations. It also processes rapid auditory information faster than the right hemisphere, and of course the left hemisphere is responsible for language development. So this hemisphere might be dominant in language development, for the left hemisphere is in control with language as well as in mathematics and logic. So since the left hemisphere contains parietal lobe, temporal lobe, as well as the occipital lobe, it helps us to make up our language in control, so that the Wernicke area and the Broca area allows us to improve our understanding, and of course recognize patterns, as well as the ability to learn language and to process information. So that's how the left hemisphere works. So next to left hemisphere is the right hemisphere. So the right hemisphere also has a special rule. It is to demonstrate visual and auditory stimuli, which makes communication or information conveys properly. And this also allows us to recognize negative emotions, a high level of mathematician, problem solver, like chess playing. And of course, it has the ability to respond in touch and music or sensory. It is also responsive to color and shape, as well as in emotional and creative. So the right hemisphere's functionality to language is only limited, for this is completely lacking to linguistic ability. This is only help us to process informations in paper views, in a sense that this hemisphere is more on non-verbal side. And even though the right hemisphere's linguistic ability is lacking, it also plays an important role so as to create a meaningful contribution in decoding or interpreting information, so as to create a significant language process strength. So those are the characteristic and functionality of the right and left hemispheres in processing informations, and of course their contribution to language.